Fans and critics alike have already started to weigh in on Adam Warlock's looks in the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 trailer. Here's how he stacks up to his comic book counterpart. The long-awaited debut of the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 movie trailer has finally come and has already garnered millions of YouTube views. And there are a lot of revealing bits of the story packed into just under 2 minutes. There's a strong hint that many of the main characters will meet a fatal end, and the introduction of Lila, a fan-favorite character from the comics. But the debut of another comic book character that fans have been waiting for since Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 debuted in 2017 is probably the biggest reveal. That character is none other than Adam Warlock, played by Will Poulter.
I think I shall call him Adam.
There's a ton of hype for the film as a whole, but the chatter around Warlock is particularly positive. Many fans are eager for the emotional payoff they've been waiting almost 6 years for. What they may not know, however, is that adapting Warlock from the comics in a way that would please moviegoers and comic book fans alike is a tall ask. Thanks to his many rebirths in the comics, Adam Warlock has had more costume changes than even the most seasoned X-Men veteran. From the brief look we get, it's clear that Warlock will be wearing his red uniform with a skull affixed to the collar. This is the costume he wore after being resurrected to defeat Thanos and protect half of all life in the universe from being blinked out of existence by the Infinity Gauntlet. It makes sense that the studio would go with this look, since that's also the arc where he has the most interaction with Nebula, Gamora, and Drax, all of whom will be returning for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. So far, the vast majority of fans are in favor of this choice. Several Redditors think the makeup has improved since the last film, and although other commenters didn't see much of a difference at all, they agree it looks good and fits well with the sci-fi tone of the film. But not everyone is as optimistic. Even though there's a ton of praise for Warlock's split-second appearance in this appreciation thread for the trailer, one user said, "I feel like they could punch up the color on those costumes a bit." But the top comment from Reddit expressing enthusiasm for Warlock's presence in the trailer has hundreds of upvotes so far. So it's safe to assume that the look he'll be sporting in the MCU will go over well with the majority of audiences. Those who have viewed the trailer saw Warlock for no more than a second, and in that brief amount of time, all we see is a brief shot of his face from the shoulders up, as well as him seemingly punching a downed Nebula hard in the head. If you pay close enough attention, you can see the skull decoration on the movie version of his suit, albeit it's muted to blend in rather than standing out prominently as it does in the comics. He's also sporting a very powerful soul gem on his forehead, and it does appear as though he still has his red cape. Fans and critics alike are impressed with how Warlock looks in the trailer. Prominent movie critic Tessa Smith at Rotten Tomatoes, in a longer tweet about the overall impression the trailer made on her, said, "I'm not ready to say goodbye to these guys, but can we talk about how incredible Adam Warlock looks?" With the warm reception Warlock has received so far, it would be a surprise if fans ended up hating him after seeing him make his big MCU debut in theaters next year.